Hi guys, Joyce here, welcome to my channel, and today in this video I'll show you guys how I made from scratch this jumpsuit. It has elastic thread in the top. It's really simple to make, and I'll show you how you can make by using some clothes you already have in your house. So let's go to the tutorial. I used a stretch fabric, and in this clip I'm folding the fabric with the right side of the fabric in the middle, so the wrong side of the fabric is up, so I can mark to make the pattern. The first measure I'm gonna put in the fabric is half of the size of my hips, and I also add 5 centimeters, like 2 inches, to make the jumpsuit more loose and more comfortable. For the top part, I'll use a t-shirt that I have, so I fold the t-shirt in half, and then I mark the half of the hip measures so I can place the t-shirt in the middle. With the t-shirt as my guide, I mark the waistline. Now I'll take a pair of pants that I already have to use it as a pattern for the pants. I fold the pants with the front side out, and I will place it in the fabric. And then to make the romper looser, I drag my clothes to the edge of the hip line, or for about 5 centimeters or 2 inches away from the middle point, that is the blue line. After that, I trace around with the chalk so I know exactly the lines that I need to cut, and then I went to the other side. To trace the back of the jumpsuit, I turn my pants to the back side out so I can use this line as a guide to trace the back. Then I did exactly the same thing that I did in the front. I left my patterns away from the front line for about 5 centimeters or 2 inches, and then I trace around the pattern so I can cut it at once. Now I can cut my pattern, and this is the shape that you have. That is the front and that is the back. Now I can pin it and sew the crotch area of both front and back. And I'll use a zigzag stitch because this is a stretchy fabric. I also make sure to match the stripes because this is a striped fabric and it will look better if the stripes match. You can either sew this fabric with a zigzag stitch or with a serger. Now for the top part of the jumpsuit, I'll start by measuring and marking my waistline because I'll stitch the elastic thread into the waistline. And then I'll make the hem on the top part by folding twice the fabric and then sewing. To use the elastic thread in the sewing machine, I have to fill the elastic thread in the bobbin and then place it in the sewing machine. With a piece of fabric, I'll test the thread and see if it's shearing enough, and if not, I can change the tension in the machine to shear more the fabric. Now I'll start sewing in the top part of the jumpsuit with the elastic thread with the right side of my fabric up in the machine, and I'll use the lines in the print of the fabric to use as a guide so I can sew straight lines. And if you're using a plain fabric without lines and stripes, you can draw the lines in your fabric before you start sewing. I'll sew with the straight stitch until I reach the mark of my waist. After shearing, the jumpsuit look like this, and now I'll form the leg part of the jumpsuit by gathering the crotch together and then sewing with a zigzag stitch. Now I will trim the rest of the fabric to have a clean edge in the side of the jumpsuit. I'll mark the hem of the pants and sew. At this point, I already tried on the jumpsuit in myself, and I decided to sew an extra elastic. It's a larger elastic in the top of the jumpsuit, so I'll be more secure when using it. I measured the elastic in my body to cut and then sew it close. After that, I divided the elastic in 4 equal parts and also the fabric. And then I put these parts that I marked together. And now I'll sew the elastic in the top by pulling the elastic and sewing with the straight stitch in the fabric. I'll cut 2 stripes for the jumpsuit in these measures that I put in the screen. Fold in half and then stitch with the sewing machine. I'll turn the right side out of the fabric of the 2 stripes. Then I'll pin it in the jumpsuit, try it on to see if it fits me well, if I need to shorten the stripe, and then I can sew in the sewing machine. I had more fabric left, so I decided to make a belt for the jumpsuit, and these measures that I use are in the screen. After cutting, I decided to round the end of the belt, so I fold in half to have an even cut in the fabric. I draw the shape that I wanted and then cut with the scissors. Now I fold this long stripe in half and I left a space open for about 5 centimeters or 2 inches. I turn the belt right side out and then I pin it to top stitch the entire belt and also closing the gap that we left open to turn right side out. And this is the final result. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel to see more. I see you next time. Bye!